It's Tehachapi time. Key Budge Maya Acosta. Maya, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing very well. So today I'm going to take the lead.
Yes.
We go back and forth. We've been kind of kicking it back and forth. It's hard for me not to be in this role. Last time I think I did a pretty good job.
Yes, you did. You handed off the torch very gracefully.
I wasn't a backseat driver last time. So today we've got a special guest, Jill Davies, a local author and creator. Jill, welcome to Tehachapi.
Thank you. Been here since 1997.
It's, you can tell with what we're going to talk about that you understand Tehachapi, and you are a self-described writer, but you've got this beautiful coloring book that you've put together that expresses your love of Tehachapi and just shares so many beautiful details about our community. It's the Land of Four Seasons that you created. Tell us a little bit about the inspiration of what went into creating this.
The most recent inspiration was when I came to Tehachapi, I knew I always drew cartoons. So I thought I would go to the local newspaper and get a weekly cartoon, but they weren't interested at all. So I had these started, and I just went around town and continued and didn't know what I was going to do with it until, I went to Cheryl and Jim's house, and they said,
Cheryl and Jim Wilson.
Yeah, they said, this is a coloring book. It's all outlined, so obviously. And my daughter did the layout for it, and my two sons one made a poem and one made a drawing, an old drawing. But I drew all the rest. Like, I would take photographs and go home and draw from the photograph. And after I drew it in pencil, I would ink it. And inking's kind of hard, but you can't mess up too much.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. So your friends, Jim and Cheryl Wilson, which are great volunteers and just members of our community.
I know.
They donate so much time to helping make Tehachapi what it is, and they're involved in so many different great groups and organizations. So they kind of inspired you to take it a little bit further.
Mm-hmm, right.
And I love to hear that. And I know that, was it Cheryl and Jim, they also recommended that you reach out to the city and see if there was something that we might be able to do to help promote, what you've created.
Well, she said to bring the book in and see what you would do with it, yeah.
Yeah. As soon as I saw it, it came here into my office, and my team, Maya, myself, Jessica, we were going through it and just going, wow. There's so much time and love that went into this, because people can do things. You can draw things. But if you don't have the passion or that inspiration, that love for what you're doing, it just doesn't translate to others. And it translated to me that you put a lot of thought and care into each of these illustrations. It's just amazing.
Well, it happened over quite a period of time, because I didn't everybody says, how long did this take? You can't say, because one day I would make one, maybe next week I would make another one. But I tried to get everything into Tehachapi that I could, and now I will go around and see 4 more. I should do a second book.
I was going to ask, to me, this is at least a year's worth of work, if not even longer.
It's probably longer, because I didn't concentrate on doing it at any one time at all.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But as we go through, and I mean, one of the pages I thought was pretty cool is the pickleball courts.
Oh, yeah. That was the last one I drew, because it was the last one in town, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The last thing. And
we did that in May is when we opened up those courts. But I mean, you even captured that recreational component of the community. But we talk about the windmills and the ranching, the animals that are a part of our countryside, all the horses. And it's just, there's so much.
The wild horses.
Yeah. I love... matter of fact, I talked to Maya about the Oak Creek horses going out to. Have you gone out to?
Oh, yeah.
And seen the Okies?
Yep, I've been there with. Remember Daniel? Did you know Daniel?
I didn't know Daniel, but Diana and Steve were friends.
Yeah, he brought me up there.
Okay, and I know we've been out there. My wife and I have been out a couple of times, and my wife owned one of the Okies. She adopted one of the Oak Creeks.
Oh, nice.
And just a fantastic horse. But to capture that experience, I thought was really cool. So it's a really collective Tehachapi-wide coloring book. And it's even though it's a coloring book, you could take each of your individual slides and just put it in a frame. And
or I could Xerox sell them separately for coloring too.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a beautiful, it's a great coffee table book to have, to put in your home when friends and relatives come over to go through and kind of capture the different moments in space here in Tehachapi.
I was corrected, by the way. They aren't windmills.
Okay. The turbines, the wind turbines.
But all the detail in this book is just beyond me. Like, I can't imagine how long it took to put all these drawings together. And it really is more than just a coloring book. It speaks to all of the areas that Tehachapi represents. And clearly, I mean, it's so vast. You go from, as Key was saying, the wild horses, you have the Lehigh trails, the skate park is in there. I think you had the farmer's market on there as well, which is really cool to see. And it really encapsulates how varied the entertainment and activities and attractions here in town are throughout the year, throughout all the seasons, as you named part of the book, Land of the Four Seasons. So I'm just so impressed by everything that is in here. So do you just find yourself, do you search out certain areas, or is it when you're just there?
I just know where they are.
Yeah.
I drive to them. Did you like the little silly notations I put in there?
Yes, that as well. There's little commentaries.
I tried
on
to
a lot
restrain
of them.
myself on that because I could endless on that.
Right. No, and that adds even more character to it as well. You've got little notes and the people in the drawings, having small conversations back and forth. And again, that really just captures, I think, a lot of the ambiance and atmosphere of Tehachapi,
And you said that, so when you go to a location, you take a photo, are you taking different angles?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that way you get a full kind of a 3D feeling when you go back. And then you take the photography back home. And then what do you do?
It's on my computer.
Okay.
So I can get it larger.
Okay. And then what's the next step for you?
Just get a piece of paper and start drawing on a regular old typing paper. And it can get all messed up. And then I'm old fashioned. I take the back of it and I put a pencil on the back so I can retrace it onto good paper. Mm-hmm. And then I ink it.
Well, that's super interesting, too, because nowadays, a lot of the younger generation utilize so many, different computer programs to digitally do their art.
Oh, that would terrify me.
So it's cool to see that you're, still maintaining...
Old-fashioned. Rake and hoe.
Mm-hmm. The good old-fashioned way. It's very interesting because, again, the detail in this is just wild. And... I always find it interesting to watch those people do the time lapse of how they do it on the computer, but doing this in the good old fashioned way also, I'm sure is very time consuming.
Yeah, it was.
My wife came in, stopped by the office recently. Your book was on my desk. She looked at it and she just started going through it. And then it was like every page she stopped and she's going through and she goes, "Who did this?" And then as I'm talking to her, she goes, "Do you know how much work went into this?" And because just behind you, the three images, my wife designed those.
Oh, wow.
So she's a graphic designer, and she'll go to a location, find her inspiration, take photos, take all kinds of photos, and then we'll go back and then create whatever it is that she's working on. And she was talking about the detail that you have, and it's... I don't know what better word than tedious. There's so much. There's a lot of time and patience.
I like patience and I like doing little things. But I swear that eventually I'm going to drop all this and just do something with broad brushstrokes, big gold painting to change my way of doing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you go through and you create the rendering of is that like the first edition, or do you go back and do you revisit it and make tweaks and changes when you look at it, or is it you as you're going? That's your flow. That's what you feel, and when you're done, you're done.
Probably the latter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I tweak much.
You like it as you go along and go, "This is it," and then and you're using that photograph of that image to kind of get you to that point. You're looking at it and referencing.
Yeah, using it very creatively. I see things and I'll stick them in like a dog. And
have you yourself, obviously you drew all of these, but have you gone through and colored in the pages?
Only one page to see if it would bleed through.
Oh, okay.
And I tried it with a special magic marker, the kind they have at Wits. What are they called? They're no bleed markers, yeah.
So there's no true right way then to color this in per se.
Oh, no. I think I would like colored pencils myself.
Yeah.
But it stands alone in black and white.
It does.
Yeah.
I think that's the one thing that I look at and translates to me is you don't need to add the color. I mean, it's a coloring book, but I appreciated it as it is.
Well, I think that's how he started it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And for me, I was like, this is, I mean, if my grandson said he wanted to go ahead, I was like, absolutely, it'd be yeah, go. But I'm like, I like it, and let it tell the story. as you've presented it. I think it's
Your grandson wanted to color in it?
well, yeah, he was here and he was like, Grandpa, can I color this? No. This isn't ours.
Well, it's yours now.
Well, thank you very much. He was just excited, but I'd be just as happy to present this, like I said, as a coffee table book in the house and let guests go through and just to tell the story of Tehachapi.
Or you could put a little colored pencil next to the book and have every guest color one page.
What a great
How
idea.
about that?
I like that.
We could do that like in visitor center.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
That's a really good idea.
buy a copy and put it in the visitor center and just have some colored pencils there for those that would like to add their little flavor to it.
That's a good idea, yeah.
Okay.
But again, putting this in the visitor center, I think, is genius because despite all the brochures and pamphlets and flyers and maps of things that are there, they don't capture the atmosphere and the actual feel of the town, but this does.
Yeah, you could just put it there without selling it. That didn't occur to me.
Yeah,
Yeah, just color in it, play with it, look at it, yeah.
absolutely.
Well, you could put a QR code or something on the outside of the book, so if people wanted to purchase a copy, they could.
Oh, yeah.
If Cheryl would let me.
We'll make that happen. But I mean, you've got the Pacific Coast Trail and honoring the hikers that come through here twice a year. You've all these different details with the iconic water tower. All of these things are depicted, just different scenery throughout Tehachapi community. And it's just, I want to see the balloons. I know that's July 4th in Bear Valley, the hot air balloons. You've just put so much thought into including the entire greater Tehachapi community. Here, this is something that we've been talking about, the depot and the Christmas tree being installed right now.
Yeah.
And you've got a
As we
page.
speak.
I'm selling it at the depot too.
Oh, okay.
Good. This is something that we look forward to every year. We're planning this event to take place, the lighting.
They're building the tree today.
Right. Yeah. That's our team out there doing that right now. So we've been kind of talking about that and the plans for the celebration of turning the lights on, but you've captured that in a page dedicated, one for the Grand Fondo if that ever comes back, but you've got that memorialized here as well. Lots of activities and special events. I just love seeing the wildlife as well. A lot of thought.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's nice to be appreciated because especially your wife looking at every page. Most people don't do that at all.
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
Each page one by one and giving it the attention that it deserves. So it was very much, she enjoyed every moment of it. I want to make sure I expressed that to you. So is there one of the pages or any of the pages that you favor?
I like the one of the birds, the cherry. Birds are where they're...
Yes, I remember seeing that one.
They're the birds in the cherry trees.
Yes, and they're
I
eating the
forget what they're
cherries
doing.
off.
Eating all the cherries. I don't know why I like that one. I also like the gopher one, where you can see underground.
Underground.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
The root cellar. I think those two are my favorite.
A lot of thought when I thought that was very creative. We were just a few minutes ago when I saw that one with the gophers. As you look at the above ground, there it is right there.
Yeah.
With the farmers tending to their farm, yet there's a whole city of critters below that are reaping the harvest as well.
Yeah, I think that's a common theme amongst most Tehachapians that you can't really have much of a nice yard because of the dang gophers.
You can't. Darn.
So let's talk about how we've kind of bragged on the book. Let's see if this is a perfect Christmas gift. If you're listening, you've got family friends that love visiting Tehachapi and they always say, I would like to take a little bit of Tehachapi home. This is that perfect gift for them. It also makes a perfect, like I said, coffee table book, or even just a great project you can spend with your kids or grandkids enjoying and celebrating Tehachapi. What are the locations right now that have it available? So you mentioned
Tehachapi Wine and Cattle.
Tehachapi Wine and Cattle in their gift shop.
Yeah, the organic farm. What's that called?
Bright Creek.
Bright Creek Farm has them. Conan's.
We've got the Depot Museum and their gift shop.
Right. The Art Center.
And you mentioned Wits.
And Wits.
Very cool. And then you said that upcoming during the Dorner, their Christmas market, and then Tehachapi Winery's Christmas market as well.
Right.
You'll have those for sale?
Yeah.
Awesome. But people can buy them online too. You have a Facebook page that you have your email or Venmo or Zelle, I believe it was, that you can purchase the book through as well. So Coloring Book of Tehachapi. Search that up on Facebook and you'll get all the info.
And what we'll do is we'll share that page onto the city page.
Yeah.
And so if people are listening, they can go to the city Facebook page and you'll find a link to your page right there.
Yep.
So that'll make it easy. It's just a beautiful book. And then what does this retail? $22. So for $22, it's more than just a coloring book. It tells the story of Tehachapi page by page. How many pages in total?
There's 64 coloring pages and 68 with the covers.
So these illustrations are each a work of art in itself. At a Dorner, will you be out signing copies?
Sure.
Okay. So if you'd like to meet the artist, Jill Davies will be at Dorner on December 7th and 8th. Is a 2-day event?
Is it 6 and 7 or 7 or 8?
It's 7th and 8th.
7 and 8, okay. Yeah, and I think 14 is the Tehachapi Winery.
Okay, and so you'll be out at the wineries, and you'll have copies available for people to purchase. Perfect Christmas gift, and she's willing to sign these. I would make sure that you take Jill up on that. So, and the nice thing is the cover art is in color. Kind of shows you a little depiction of something that's black and white, a portion, but what you can do to fill in the colors and add a little bit of color to it if you like.
When you look at the cover, do you see that it's Tehachapi? I was wondering if people saw that. It's from looking down onto the city, and all the exact streets are there.
Oh.
I do. As I look, it looks out to the west.
It looks west.
Yes, so I can see as the train is on the north end of town, you can see the city, which leads into Golden Hills, and then off into the distance into Bright Valley and beyond over the mountains. It's just it's just a beautiful look as you're looking down from one of our mountains off to the east.
Exactly.
Now, is that something that you did? Were you up at a vantage point?
That was just in my mind.
So you visually just kind of recreated that yourself?
Yeah, mostly I just draw from my own mind.
Wow, that is impressive.
Yeah.
I wish I had that ability. It's always so impressive to me.
I don't have that artistic ability. My wife does, but I don't. You and I are creative different ways, but this I just admire so much because I know how much passion goes into it, the love for doing it.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Yeah, so I appreciate that. Okay, so Jill Davies. Jill, anything that we haven't asked you that you'd like to share about the creation of this book, or the upcoming volume 2 that is with a published date yet to be released?
Well, there might be an article in the Loop.
Okay.
Oh, awesome.
I wrote an article for Tehachapi Living.
Okay, great.
Wonderful.
So 2 articles out. Yeah.
Perfect. So you can get a chance to hear from Jill a little bit through some of our other publications here in town, and just appreciate you spending the time to come in and share this with us. And then we'll make sure that we get a copy over to the Visitor Center. So if people would like to take a peek at it, they can. And then available in Conan's, the Depot, Tehachapi Wine and Cattle, Wits, and then at the upcoming Christmas events at our wineries, Dorner, and was it Tehachapi Winery is the second one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So perfect. Anything in closing, Jill, that you'd like to share?
The publisher said it was a super cute coloring book.
I agree. I would be so happy if I got this for Christmas, I must say.
Yeah, this is special.
Okay.
Jill.
Well, you can have that for your wife.
Well, thank
or
you
your
very
grandkid or whatever.
Thank you.
I have one in my car that you can take to the visitor center.
Okay, I appreciate that. Matter of fact, I'm going to have you autograph it before we.
Okay.
Just so you know, I'm going to take advantage of having you here. Well, Jill, thank you so much for taking the time. We greatly appreciate it, and hopefully this just sells like hotcakes because it really should.
All right. Thanks.
All right, folks, we appreciate the time. Maya, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. If there's any questions, you can always send us an email, media@TehachapiCityHall.com, and we'll forward those on to Jill, or if it's something that we can answer, we will. And we'll also post how you can connect and find this through Jill's Facebook. We appreciate the time you spend with us, and we'll catch you again soon right here on Tehachapod.